Hey, have you ever experienced deja vu?
But if I get another chance, I'll make sure things are different.
Here are the 10 best games involving time travel. Number 10, Blinx the Time Sweeper. Why is Blinx the Time Sweeper on our list? Well, as you can see, you play as a cat. Case closed as far as I'm concerned. Heck, why not make this number 1? But Blinx was quite the little interesting game on the original Xbox. Mostly seen as Microsoft's latest effort to develop some sort of mascot, Blinx had a little more going on under the hood, with a pause, rewind, and fast forward mechanic to solve puzzles and fight time monsters. Wait, time monsters? That's the best name you could come up with? Another sequel followed soon after, but we haven't seen our temporal feline friend in a long time. Travel to the future, Blinx. We're waiting for you. Number 9, Quantum Break. Is Quantum Break a good game? It's okay. But this list is about games involving time travel, and it certainly wouldn't be complete without Quantum Break, which takes some really crazy risks that no other game on this list would. Namely, the extensive live-action cutscenes that create a dual narrative, one where you play as a character and another that you simply watch like a TV show. There's a plethora of rather good actors as well, so the cutscenes are relatively enjoyable. And hey, this game lets you time travel to the 1990s. Can't say that happens too often in media. Yes, we're ignoring the gameplay, which is surprising because it's Remedy Games, the Max Payne and Control developers. This game tried to do all sorts of dashing and the shooting. Well, it just never felt all that good to begin with. So it's mostly on this list just for the plot, which is interesting. Number 8, Time Splitters 2. In most movies, it is imperative not to alter the time stream, forever changing our reality. But in Time Splitters 2, go ahead, go for it, do whatever you want. Well, okay, in truth, you were meant to be stopping the evil time splitter creatures, but if you happen to gun down 40 or so mobsters with a Tommy gun, we're sure that everything will still shake out the same. Time Splitters 2 took advantage of its settings and incorporated all the dated weaponry of the time, making this adventure feel like multiple games in one, and that's without even mentioning the multiplayer. Time Splitters 2 is now generations old at this point, and yet it still feels timeless. Number 7, Life is Strange. Life is Strange. Yep, sure is, but it's also an adventure game that I would suggest you play rather than just have someone describe to you. Nevertheless, I'm gonna go spoiler-free and tell you, this game sees Max Caulfield, a small high school girl, going through her angsty pains of entering adulthood while still being relatively inexperienced. And now she can rewind time. What could possibly go wrong? In short, pretty much everything in the most sharply tragic ways and lots of collateral damage. The game is episodic and as such knows exactly how to bring the drama to a boil where all of your decisions collide into one simmering mess and then it hits the credits. Yes, in this game, even changing little things has stark consequences. Number 6, BioShock Infinite. On quiet nights, if you stand on a roof and point your ears towards the gamers, you can still hear the BioShock Infinite discourse echoing from the distance. To say it was a controversial follow-up to BioShock would be an understatement. No one seemed quite to get what they wanted from this sequel, but many walked away with more than they were expecting. For instance, a plethora of classic 1980s songs done in barbershop quartets, an extensive baptism scene, and some rather problematic ideas on political revolutionaries. BioShock has a lot to say about faith, history, and responsibility, and if you want to dig further into its lore, you'll likely stumble into some shocking, real-world American history. Yeah. It goes places. Number 5, Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. In truth, your humble narrator, a perfect anime boy and JRPG enthusiast, has not played Radiant History Perfect Chronology, but I might have to rectify that as its turn-based queue system is considered one of the best, and its time-traveling narrative educated players on its world and scenario through a series of alternative timelines that see players taking the acquired knowledge and applying it to a different timeline where you advance. Honestly, this all sounds like Bill and Ted JRPG, which is already a good enough reason to check it out. Plus, it was developed by Atlas, you know, the Persona guys, so they know a thing or two about RPGs. Number 4, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. There were many games in the early days of 3D game design where developers attempted to incorporate acrobatics and parkour with mostly poor results. Sands of Time solved this issue not by refining the gameplay, though it is pitch perfect, but by allowing players to simply rewind the gameplay and try again, changing video games forever. Okay, seriously, I know that sounds bold, but even racing games have incorporated this feature. Prince of Persia proved players were perfectly fine with this challenge, but they didn't want to sit through several loading screens or bad checkpoints to do so. Thank you, Sands of Time, for explaining that to the rest of the class. Number 3, Assassin's Creed series. Yeah, we're just gonna go with all of them. Who cares? Seriously, the Assassin's Creed franchise are the historic action games of our time, and that doesn't look to be changing any point soon. Is it really time travel? Well, Well, kind of. The protagonists are using some sort of genealogy mapper to live out the memories of their ancestors. But did their ancestors really do all the silly stuff players are doing? A temporal anomaly to be certain. But if you want to learn about history, the newer Creed games have some rather impressive educational modes. It'll be like you stepped right back into ancient Greece, without all the risk of pan flutes. Yuck. Number 2, Chrono Trigger. Yes, this is far and away the oldest game on our list, but for a time traveler like yourself, it really shouldn't matter. Released on the Super Nintendo under a wave of anticipation, a who's who of JRPG developers and artists united to create Chrono Trigger, widely regarded as one of, if not the best single JRPG of all time. Time travel plays a constant part in the story, aiding the characters in undoing tragedies and attempting to build a better future for all. There's so much joy and optimism in Chrono Trigger that instantly translates to new players. If you haven't done it yet, please just go play Chrono Trigger. You will love it, and you will love Frog, we promise. Number 1, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Well, duh. If you're gonna talk about time travel in games, there's simply no game more popular than Ocarina of Time. While time travel had been well done by some games in the past, well, mostly just Chrono Trigger if we're being honest, Zelda made the concept material, not only transforming the world of Hyrule from a sunny field to a zombie march, but aging our hero Link from a little kid to an adult. Wait, he ages? Is that really time travel? Plus, this game had to be at the top of our list for what it did to the Zelda timeline itself, with all the Zelda games now taking place in different fractured timelines. And no, we want to be clear, not different endings, different timelines. Like one where Link didn't survive. Basically, every Zelda game since this one has been influenced by time travel, all thanks to this Nintendo 64 classic. So yeah, had to be number 1. And there you have it, the 10 best games involving time travel. Hey, you ever have a sense of deja vu? Me neither, which is why you should keep clicking around here on Game Rant. We've got new lists, videos, articles, everything just in the nick of time. Hey, before you go, you ever have a sense of deja vu? Me neither.